Hi, so in this video I'm going to talk to you about the capture-recapture method, and in order to talk about this, basically this is all about how we can estimate populations. Alright, so we use samples to be able to estimate populations. So first of all, I've got on here a formula. Now, you don't need to have this particular formula, and you can use whatever letters you like, and if you look it up in different books and if you see different videos or different examples, they will use different letters, but the basic principle remains the same. So these are the letters that I have used. So I've used C to stand for the captured, R for the recaptured, then T for the total the second time, and P, which is the one we're calculating for our estimated population. Now this is a technique that people can use to estimate populations of different species of animals, for example. I've got an example here to do with fish, and I will use this to explain what this is all about, because at the moment it probably seems quite complicated. So this is the example. We've got 50 fish which have been captured and tagged in a pond. So the idea is that we are trying to find out how many fish, what's the population of fish in a pond. So 50 of those fish are captured. Importantly, they're tagged and they're put back into the pond. Now the important thing here with the technique is that those fish need to be able to go back into their environment and basically randomise themselves. So they need to be able to swim around so that they're now completely mixed up with all the rest of the fish. So that happens. So in order for that to happen, there needs to be a certain amount of time between. So in this particular example, they've used 1 week. So 1 week later, the biologist or whoever it is, they go back, and this time they catch 100 fish. Now this time what they're looking for with those 100 fish is they're looking to find out how many of them have got tags. And here you'll notice that out of those 100, 17 of them have got tags, okay? And that's the important point. Now what the theory behind this says is that we've got 17 who've got tags out of 100, and that proportion, we assume, and this is where it's really clever, that proportion of 17 out of 100 is the same as the proportion of the total amount that were tagged last time out of the total population. So that's why we have these two fractions. So the proportion that were tagged is 17 out of 100, okay? And that part is your R in my formula over T. So R being the recaptured. So these are the fish that have been captured twice, and T is the number that were collected the second time. So we're suggesting that that proportion is the same as the amount that were tagged in the first instance, which is 50, out of the total population. So we're suggesting that that proportion is the same as the proportion that were tagged last time out of the total population. So what we have here then is our formula all filled in, and if I just put my letters that I've used here, so I've put C for the captured the first time and P for our estimated population. So this is then our formula, and all we have to do now is rearrange it to work out what our answer is. There's lots of ways you can rearrange this. I'm going to do it in this particular way because it's straightforward with these numbers. So I know that 17 divided by 100 is 0.17. and that is equal to our 50 over P. I then want to find P, but it's in the denominator of the fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides by P, giving me that 50 is equal to 0.17 P, and then in order to work out the population, all I have to do is basically divide 50 by 0.17. Now, you would obviously just use your calculator to do that. And what you find, I'll put it over here so you can see it clearly, is that P actually is 294. So the estimate for the population there would be that there are 294 fish in that pond. Okay. Now this has been done over several times, and it does prove to give you some quite realistic answers. So that's just a very quick rundown on how to use the capture-recapture method and how to apply it in a question. Thank you.